After being held back for months, is it finally time for the Binance ecosystem to explode? And what projects inside of the BNB ecosystem am I actually looking at most? All that, today's market, and some gems nobody is talking about coming up next. As you guys remember, last video I was talking about Bitcoin. Now we're gonna just quickly go over those before we get to the BNB ecosystem because I want to point out something that I was telling you would actually happen. You can see that right here at the 38,000 level, where I was talking about the fact that $38,000, once we break it on the daily chart, which we did right here, we get a boner candle, one that's very big and strong and powerful right through the resistance. We're seeing similar things happening here right now, where we're testing the lower level. So it went up, tested the lower level, went up, tested the lower level, and eventually breaks through. All right, welcome back, guys. So as you saw, I was talking about that big dildo candle. We love dildos. I know maybe if you don't like dildos, it's not your thing, but honestly, we love them in crypto when we're trading. And here's exactly what I was talking about. The same level that we were talking about back in at 38K, which I talked about last video, we had the same setup again. And guess what happened today? Boom, dildo candle time, baby. So what do we see? We see that huge dildo. We're going almost to $46,000 as we speak right now. Bitcoin is absolutely bullish. And as I told you, very likely we're gonna be headed over to that $48,000 level. A quick note on Ethereum, and then we're gonna jump into the Binance ecosystem projects that you need to know, and a degenerate pick that might be set to explode, and I'm gonna explain why. So quickly for ETH, I just wanna show you guys the same exact boner candle is happening because Bitcoin and ETH generally follow each other. So as you can see on the chart, we did break out of that level right here at 24,000, and we smashed through it. If you wanna see more about where the ETH level is going to next, come and watch the video tomorrow, and don't forget to subscribe and smash on that bell so you don't miss where I believe Ethereum is going next. So right now, let's do what you're here for, diving into BNB's ecosystem. And what better to start with than BNB itself? All right, so many people asked me in the last bear market, should I be getting rid of my BNB? Is BNB gonna go down because of CZ? And I kept saying, no, you can't stop a blockchain. And because CZ goes down or doesn't go down, that's not gonna stop the ecosystem from its growth. Right now, we saw that suppression happen for quite some time, and we're starting to see the ecosystem fire back up. So let's look at the chart for a second, and I'll explain to you what we're looking at. So if we can see it, we came all the way to this level at $335, had a little bit of a rejection, and now we're seeing a bull flag formation. What does that mean? Well, it means that we're likely gonna come down and go sideways for a bit, and then we're gonna get, what do we like those things? What were we talking about in ETH and Bitcoin? Oh yeah, a boner candle. We're looking for that next. But where will the price go to for BNB? Well, once we break out of that $335, $336 level, we have a few other levels. One of them's pretty strong at $362, and followed by that is around $400. Could we go higher than that? Absolutely. Could we break 1,000 on BNB this cycle? I absolutely think we could. So what BNB projects am I looking at next? Okay, so going into one of the coins, Cake. Well, we all use Pancake Swap. I think so anyways. And there's a huge amount of liquidity there. So what should you be looking for with Cake? Well, Cake is literally only about 3x from the bottom. Now, on something as big as Cake with such a cheap ecosystem to trade on, Cake has a huge opportunity. What is the opportunity that we're looking at? Well, we can see that right now, there's only really one major key level. So I'm gonna draw that on the chart for you guys can see. And what we look for when we draw levels is where does the price come down to and where does it stop going up? Remember that trampoline we talked about and we bounce off of levels and we go to the top and then we have to come back down a bit. So we're right around there. So what I'm looking for on Cake right now is for us to break a bit higher and go continuing to over $5. $5.20 is around the level that I'm looking at. And honestly, after we break that level, there's very small amounts of resistance that could stop us from going to 8 and then potentially all the way up to $10 again. Where was Cake at the top of last cycle? Let me just give you guys a piece of perspective. It was at $43. So from right now, we can easily see this. If it just goes to the same level it was last cycle, it could go all the way back up 10x, 11x, 12x from right now. Now we saw what happened with Injective from $1 to 40. This could happen again with Cake. Keep your eyes on it. This is the biggest exchange token on BNB. Next up, Cake rhymes with bake, and they actually love to go and moon together. So we want to draw some levels on the bakery swap token. And here is what I'm also looking at. Now at the bottom, this was sitting around and holding this key level around 12 cents, maybe just a little bit lower. But what we're looking for is where does the price bounce and go to? Well, we saw that it broke up and it went to this level right here at about 92 cents and it retraced about 50%. 50% retrace levels are great. And as you can see, it actually is a level on the chart. So we have these couple zones here. I'm just gonna break this up a little bit bigger so you can see it. And we're looking at going from 92 cents, where next? So again, we look for where the price stopped going higher in the past. So I'm just gonna draw this level on for you guys here. And you can see that very likely we go to $1.22. And then after that, there's really nothing stopping it from going much higher into the $1.60 level. So baking cakes works great together. So I think that I like cake, you like cake, and we like that type of cake too. So that's what we're looking at for bakery swap. So those are two picks. We have BNB, we have cake, we have bake. Coming up next, there's a project that you've heard me talk about before, but they have massive things coming, so keep your eyes on it. Followed by that, I'm gonna give you one more normal pick and another degenerate one that I'm gonna explain to you why I think it could have some opportunity. And then I'm gonna show you guys a live buy of that project. Cornucopias. Now, when we look at this, you may look at the chart and go, okay, coach, looks really bullish, right? Well, yeah, it's broken out at an all-time high. It's went to 13 cents and now it's had a nice retrace. So when we look at this retrace level, because we'll just go straight into this chart right here, we can see that it topped out around 13 and it came back down only 30 cents. So that level that I drew in the past of us breaking out of, I could see us come back to it, which would be a great opportunity to buy. This is an ecosystem that has the games almost ready, or they have some of the games ready. The metaverse is there. There's learn to earn. They have a huge amount of interest because they went multi-chain now. They're not just ADA. They're on ETH. They're on BSC. They're adding even more ecosystems so that they can be multi-chain, to be accessible to everybody on every chain, which I think is going to be very helpful for this project to continue to moon. And with considerable hype and with their nodes that they started offering, I could see this thing absolutely breaking back up. But what we're gonna watch for is that 50% retrace level, which is around 7 cents. If it goes to 7 cents, I will be absolutely loading up, and we're gonna use that trend-based Fibonacci level. So I'm gonna show you how to do that by basically going to the very bottom of the chart, which you can see, and go all the way to the top, and then we're gonna pull it back down to the bottom. All right, so looking at the trend-based Fibonacci, we go from the bottom of the chart to the top of the chart, back to the bottom. And this can give us where currently our level could come back down to. And as you can see, that 618 retracement level was held pretty strong. But now we wanna look above us. Where is the price action potentially going to go first? So we love that 1618 because that's where it can pull it up. And the 618 is known as the golden pocket, the golden retracement level. It's the one where the most action happens off of it if it goes past the 50% retrace. So we're looking at where would price action go next. So if we did just start mooning from right this moment, it's very likely we would go to around 22 cents. 22 cents would make market cap 200 mil, and it's very realistic when we look at things like Decentraland and Sand, when this has way better graphics, Unreal Engine 5, and so much more. So that's Copy. Another one on BSC, which started on ETH, which I've been involved with for a while, is Paid Network. Now, as we know, as the market starts to get hot, we're gonna see a lot of hot projects, and hot projects become very, very difficult to get into, even for people like myself sometimes, mainly because it is just really, really competitive in the market, and more users come in that can add value that were here last cycle. What we're gonna look at is Paid. Now, Paid doesn't look great on a chart right now unless you zoom right in, but I'm gonna show you the opportunity that you could have if Paid does what it did last cycle. And knowing Kyle and knowing the team and knowing their accessibility and their OG status, they have accessibility to a lot of projects, even sometimes I can't get in. So what are we looking for? Well, first of all, let's look for the opportunity. The opportunity is if it goes to all-time high, it's almost a 20x. Now this is, everyone said to me, oh coach, this is already 20x from the bottom. Sure, it's true, but do you want to get access to deal flow? Probably. So launch pads are a great opportunity for that, and Paid is multi-chain, so they're not just going to be limited to ETH or BSC. They're actually going on more and more chains constantly, so they're always trying to add new value. So let's look at some key levels that we can watch for. So first thing let's talk about is what level are we looking at currently for us to break out? And I'm showing you guys yet again, potential boner candles can come up. And there's also key levels that we held. So we're looking at a range between 18 and 34 cents. So I'm keeping my eyes on that. Now, okay, great that we're there. Where would we go next? So there's a lot of resistance right around this level at 45 cents. So even to go from 30 to 45 cents, a huge gain of 30 to 35% potentially here, but that's not where it could end. So once it breaks out of that level, which is looking more like a support than a resistance, we try to see, okay, well, that's where it bounced from before. Now it acts as resistance, right? Because now it's a level. We break above it, then it becomes support. So where would that be next? So paid, I believe, is going to be a big mover this cycle. That goes up to 77 cents, 75 to 77 cents. So even from right here, it could go 1.5x higher and likely even more so than that. And that's just the start. Once it breaks that level, here's the really good part. There's not much stopping it from going much higher. So we would be looking anywhere between $1.15 and I'll just draw a box because I like to draw boxes when we have these type of opportunities. Somewhere between $1.15 and $1.03. So this is a level that I'll be looking at from the box level. And after that, again, not much resistance stopping it from going to $1.80. So I think paid this cycle may not go to $6 because a lot more tokens on the market. But remember, the reason why you buy Launchpad tokens is because of accessibility. You want those $200, $500 tickets. We all remember Star Atlas and we all remember iOS. So there's really good opportunities that could pop up. And so that's why you get into the launch pads, because even a small little ticket can change your life forever. So here's a degenerate pick for all of you. And you're probably looking and going, Coach, look at this liquidity. It's got $62,000. Why are you talking about this coin? Well, this is a project actually that was launched on paid, did really, really well at the start. And then obviously the bear market started not too much longer after. So the price started to depreciate. And as vesting happened, we all know how vesting works. It drives price down because there's more tokens for people to be able to sell, which drives the price down of tokens, same as inflation does when we print money. So why am I looking at it and why does it look literally like a dead person on one of those beeping machines? Well, let's kind of zoom in and blow it up a bit and see where it could go next. So as we come closer, it looks not as bad when we go down here. Obviously, it didn't look so great when we were a little bit higher. But I'm gonna show you some little tips and tricks about what, from a level perspective, we're gonna go to. So as you see, it respected that top level of 0.00235 cents. But this was at one point over, I think it was about 3 or 4 or 5 cents. It was actually a lot higher than that. So it was up to all the way around 27. It's at 0.0014. So this is a huge, huge potential if this thing kicks off. Now, what do they do? Drive is literally uber decentralized. So if you've ever seen things like Grab, that's not decentralized, or Bolt, kind of decentralized because people can vote on if they go and pick you up, but they're kind of illegal in certain countries. And if you've ever been to Dubai and you've used Kareem, their actual former COO has joined as an advisor for Drive. So they've been building. Obviously, the price doesn't actually reflect what it could do, but because it's not doing that and it has kind of a lagging on the price versus where it could go and where it can be again, there's a really good opportunity here. Now, obviously, this is degenerate. It has low liquidity. There's something there that's real, but this is no guarantee this works. But it's a degenerate play that could absolutely take off if this has the right capacity to do so. So we're calling this a Degen Pick. I would call it my normal casino coin, but I'm gonna actually do something right now live. And what I'm gonna do is show you first that the price could easily get up to about a 300% gain. But not only that, if it goes even to like a lower high that they had way, way down here, the next high to get back to could be a 15,000% gain, 151x. Just to get at the lower level of the high that it is right now. So it's a degenerate play, but if you put $1,000 into this one like I'm gonna do today, you could turn that into $150,000, and that could change some people's lives immensely. So that's why we're talking about it today. Now let me tell you guys what I look for before I enter a degenerate pick. I look at how many holders are there. So there are 8,544 holders. That's great. That means a lot of people holding. The fully diluted market cap's only 2.175 million, which is super low, meaning like if we're comparing it to some of the shit coins that we normally look at, it actually has even lower market cap than a lot of those. So it's a good opportunity here, even though it looks like a shit coin, actually it's a real business. So I'm looking at that, I'm going, okay, it's good. Most of the supply is either locked up, probably teen tokens, etc., like that. That probably will not vest for a very long time, and the team can't even sell anyways at this point because the price is so low, which is a very big benefit to us. So we look at that, we go, okay, these things all look good. So what am I going to do? The vesting ended a long time ago. It was only 12 months for even seed. So that is all done. So now the price can only go up, as we like to look at. All right, so I'm gonna explain to you that with only $60,000 market cap and only 2.175 mil, I don't want to take massive risks. Even me, yes, I'm a whale. Yes, I can afford to put a lot in a token like this, but I'm just going to put in a little bit, and I'm going to show you guys live that I am doing it, so you don't have to question whether I did or did not do it like most of the other YouTubers out there. So let's just go in and let's make a small buy of $1,000. Now you're probably asking, Coach, why only $1,000? Well, if we scroll down a little bit, we can see that it's a 3% price impact. So actually what I have to do is I have to increase my overall slippage to about 5% because I want to make sure that I don't get a failed transaction. So that's very simple. You go in and we change it. So now we're using Cake, great platform, and we're going to trade and make a 662,590 drive buy. So you're going to click on over here, swap. I'm going to confirm that swap. And so we're going to keep our eyes on Drive and the BNB ecosystem going forward as it is starting to slowly take off. So if you guys like seeing me do this, I'll be starting a portfolio video where I take $10,000, spread it across some coins, and I'm going to show you guys in the next series all the moves that I make in this portfolio so that you guys can see a $10,000 portfolio turn into a $1 million portfolio. So smash on that like bell and subscribe. And I've also started a new TikTok video, which is more lifestyle content, showing you guys what I do. And I'm gonna give you all the pointers so you can get step-by-step closer to financial freedom. So make sure you guys follow Coach K Life on TikTok and follow this channel so you don't miss any of the tips and tricks that are coming next.